Marc Perelman. Hello to you, Marc. Catherine giving us the broad strokes about François Bayrou, but for some of our viewers who aren't familiar with him, what more can you tell us about this longtime French figure in politics?
Yeah, as you said, he's a veteran politician, a heavyweight. He's been a centrist leader. He ran 3 times for president, always hoping to be the third man in French politics, that is, being a potential rival to either the socialists or the conservatives that have essentially been the presidents one after the other until Emmanuel Macron happened. And Emmanuel Macron happened largely also because he got the early endorsement of François Bayrou, who was considering a fourth run for president in 2017, but thought it was better to throw his lot behind Emmanuel Macron. And this was really decisive in establishing Emmanuel Macron as a legitimate candidate for president, because having a veteran politician at a time when he was largely an unknown figure, people weren't really sure if he was a serious candidate. This helped him tremendously. Emmanuel Macron rewarded François Bayrou by appointing him as his justice minister. However, within several weeks, he had a legal case for allegations that have resurfaced recently, because his party was accused of maybe misusing some money from the European Parliament to help pay for party officials. He was cleared after several years of that accusation, but this is precisely the accusation that's now hanging over the head of the National Rally leader, Marine Le Pen. Since then, Bayrou has always been a staunch ally of Macron. He holds a position where he's not a minister anymore, but he was in charge of a long-term planning for the French economy, for the French society. No one really knew what he was up to, but clearly he has been campaigning hard to get this prime ministership. He's met during 1 hour and 45 minutes this morning at the Elysée Palace. Does this mean that he was given the nod by Emmanuel Macron? That would be the assumption. But Emmanuel Macron is someone who, when he previously appointed prime minister, took really his time and at the last minute changed his mind. The example that comes to mind was now a current minister, Catherine Vautrin, in 2022. She was really set to become prime minister. He had already told she would be prime minister. And then there was a kind of revolt within his own camp, seeing, she comes from the right, you can't do this. And at the last minute, he pulled the plug on Catherine Vautrin and appointed Elisabeth Borne, who was more coming from the central left. And so we're not, it's still possible until we get the statement from the Elysée Palace. We cannot say that François Bayrou is for sure the prime minister. What we do know is that at the residence of the prime minister, also the workplace of the prime minister, the Hôtel de Matignon, where we've seen the Republican Guard arrive this morning. We're seeing a red carpet being rolled out. We know that the outgoing prime minister, Michel Barnier, is at Matignon, probably preparing his farewell speech. So the assumption is that there will be a statement and immediately handover between Michel Barnier and his or her successor. We have to wait because Emmanuel Macron, as I said, he didn't respect several of his self-imposed deadlines, 48 hours, 24 hours, yesterday night. Everyone was sure he comes back from Poland, cutting short his visit. Why? Because he's going to appoint the prime minister? Well, he didn't do so. So let's just be cautious. Let's wait for the statement, and then we can safely comment on the new prime minister.
Marc, it's no fun being cautious. Let's assume it is François Bayrou, okay?
Yes.
He occupies the center. Emmanuel Macron occupies the center. The center appears to be unraveling. The left is stronger. The right is stronger. How would a Bayrou government fare? Would it do better than Barnier's outgoing government?
Well, I beg to differ with your assessment that Emmanuel Macron is at the center. Emmanuel Macron, clearly since his re-election, has shifted towards the right. Yeah. And this is probably also why he appointed a conservative, Michel Barnier, as prime minister, because he agrees more or less on what Barnier was proposing. And so this is why you now have a leftist coalition that is not happy. They've already said that François Bayrou is not so much of a change because he was an historic ally of Emmanuel Macron. So they're saying it's Macron yet again. And so they're concerned that he will just continue. So the big gamble for François Bayrou, if it's him, is to be able to lure some of the left, that is essentially the socialists that are the most centrist on the left side, while also appealing to the conservatives. If not to participate in government, at least not to vote a motion of no confidence against them in parliament. So we'll have to see, first of all, if he is the prime minister and if he can get a new majority in parliament, if not for him, at least not against him.
All right, Marc, thank you very much. Marc Perelman, our French politics editor.